Things I wish I would have known when I first started makeup. Let's get started. So for primer, you want to pick something that's good for your skin type, whether you have dry or oily skin. Obviously, that's a given. And always let it set in before you go in with any other face product. Now for brows, which I just started, I'm using the e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift Pencil in Auburn because I'm a ginger. If you have dark hair, like black hair, don't use a jet black pencil. Use a darker coffee brown. So go 2 shades lighter. And if you have light hair like me, or you're a ginger, go in with a color that's 2 shades darker. And make sure you always match undertones. Back when I first started makeup, we didn't have the correct color for ginger eyebrows. Let's just be for real. They were always bright orange, or we just had to use like a blonde brow pencil. Even then, there wasn't that many blonde brow pencils. So for redheads, what I recommend, this eyebrow pencil. It's great, matches all undertones, and it's cheap. And they also have many shades in this. Highly recommend. For concealer, foundation. The thinner you apply it, the more natural it looks. For example, I like to put my product on the back of my hand. I know some of it absorbs into my hand or whatever, like I don't care about that. What I care about is how it applies and how it looks after it's all blended out. So I like to do this with it and then do like a really thin, and you can build up the coverage as needed and it won't look super cakey. I just realized that the beauty filter was on. What the heck? See that? The thinner you apply it, the more natural it's gonna look. I'm still only using my finger right now. Also, don't put any foundation under your eyes like this, because you're gonna wanna apply concealer there later if you're using it, and the more product you pile on top of each other, the more cakey you can get. Now, depending on your tool that you like to use, I personally like to use a sponge, but for today I'm gonna use a little brush. And you always tap. You don't buff, because that'll give you streaks. You tap. I find that using a brush gives you more coverage, and if you don't like how it blended out with a brush, just go in with a beauty sponge. That'll fix all your problems. Oh, and don't apply product directly onto your nose when it comes to foundation. Basically take the excess from your cheeks and blend it upwards like that, so that it can cover whatever redness that you have on your nose. And if you need more coverage, you can go in with concealer. And bring less and less product to the edges of your face so that it gives you more of a natural look and it blends. Part 2. Things I wish I would have known before I started makeup, part 2. For concealer, only hit the points that you need it. You don't need to do the whole triangle thing, because if you do the whole triangle thing, it is going to make your face look cakey. Ha! And for spots, like pimples, like this one, this little angry one I got right here, do not put the wand directly on it. That's a no-go. You put a little bit on your hand, right? And then you take a little brush and you put it on there. You take it and you just put it right there and you blend out the edges with that same brush. Look at that. Problem solved. Not necessarily problem solved, but you get what I'm saying. Now, if you want more coverage, leave the little spots to kind of like dry down a little bit. I don't really need that much, so I'm just gonna use that same brush and just kind of tap, 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 tap. Like we did with the foundation, because you don't want streaks. It's not cute. Tap, 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 tap away, tap away. I have a little pimple right there, I didn't even realize. Yeah. And if you want it to be, let's say you get some streaks, or like you don't like how it looks like that, right? Beauty sponge. Yes, the beauty sponge absorbs a little bit of product, yada yada yada, whatever, doesn't really matter. If you're using an overly expensive product, then maybe it does. But I'm a drugstore girly because your girl broke. So that's my 2 cents on that. Oh, and if you need coverage elsewhere, you can just take the excess concealer and put it the places that you need it. You don't need to go and put a ton all over your face. Saves a lot of money that way. Because being a woman or someone who wears makeup is very expensive. Let's be fucking for real. And then I just take whatever extra and just put it around my face, just so the product doesn't go to waste. Now we're going to move on to cream products, because you don't want to use cream after you put powder on your face. can cause the product to ball up and just peel, and it just looks gross. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer with a sponge. I don't use a brush because I feel like it'll put too much product on there. You can use a brush if you want and just use the tapping motion, and then if there's too much product or if it's too dark, you just go in with the beauty sponge and absorb that excess. And try to keep the bronzer or contour or whatever at the very edges of your face. Gosh, 3 minutes is not long enough. Go to part 3. I'm so sorry. So, we're on to cream products. Using the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I like to apply cream products with a sponge because I feel like it just looks more natural that way. Don't worry, this line will fix itself, I promise. I won't look like I have 5 o'clock shadow. I wish I had a more cool tone shade of this because then it would actually be contour, but I'm just using a bronzer. So, use cool tones for contour, warm tones for bronzing. And then you layer them, like you mix them together, and it marries the two, and it's amazing. It adds dimension. Keep all products at the very edge of the face. Gives it a more natural snatching. Basically enhances what you already got. Now, I take the excess product that's on my sponge and just kind of like put it on my forehead. Because I've kind of got a 5 head, so yeah. Difference. Yes. I'm going to do the other side really quick. Now, if you want to do like a lifted eye look thing, this is where you would do it. You can also use this to contour your nose a little bit, accentuate what you already have. I like to take a little bit of this and put it on the outer edges of my eyes because it just kind of helps. Blend, 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 blend. Now, blush, I do the same exact thing that I do with my foundation. Put it on my hand. And then from there, do this, and boop, 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 boop. I always put it on the high points of my face because I find that it shapes my face better. Put a little bit on my nose. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. You can also put a little bit on your chin or like on your lip, that whole thing. On to powder. Whatever powder you're using to set your face, tap excess on your hand and then go in and press and press. Don't rub, press. You can also use that to chisel if you want. I've already done my base. Let's go to eyes. For this video, we're just going to use a ColourPop Quad because it's easy. I don't have eyeshadow primer. Usually you'd go in with eyeshadow primer before this. You want to do eyeshadow that complements your natural eye shape. That's what we're going to do. Take a fluffy brush and grab the lightest shade. Swiping motion and then just blend it in. Other side. Swiping motion. Tap. Just blend it in. Darker color. Outer edge. Or if you want, you can do the inner corner too. I like to take mine, buff it in there, and then use the fluffy brush to kind of just blend out the edge there. I'm putting it in the inner corner for the girlies. I like to put it in the inner corner. There's 2 shimmer shades. We're going to use both today. Get one on your finger. You can swipe it, you can tap it, whatever, doesn't matter. Then take your other finger, put the lighter shade either in the middle or you can go the inner corner. I'm going to do both today because I feel extra. And if you want to add more dimension than that, go in with a darker brown and, you know, that whole thing. Liner. I'm going to use 2 different ones for this look today. I'm going to take a brown liner and I'm going to fill in the spaces underneath my lashes and kind of go in the waterline kind of like that. Ugh. See how much of a difference that makes? Now, when it comes to actual eyeliner, you want to follow where this naturally points. But because I have a fold right there, you guys see that? I'm gonna have to down turn it a little bit so that it lines up with my inner corner, with my water duct, tear duct, whatever. So. one line. Second line. Fill her in. Now for the inner corner, you just want to take an angled brush and do that. Don't worry about getting them even right away. Practice makes perfect. For mascara, heat up your lash curler, curl your lashes. I don't have an eyelash curler on me right now, so I'm not going to do that, and then just do your mascara. I just put a tiny bit of mascara on the outer lashes. If you get any mascara on your lid, don't worry, just grab a spoolie, wait for the mascara to dry, and then just scrape it off. Now for lips, you don't always gotta go in with a lip liner, but I usually like to. And I like to overline them just a little bit. For the Cupid's bow, that's as much as I overline. Not that much. For the bottom, that's as much as I overline. And then just follow your natural shape. Now if you want, you can go in with a darker lip liner and really drag out your edges if you want, but that's up to you. Now for the actual lip stick situation, I usually don't wear much. I tend to like to go for the gradient lip, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So you go in with a darker lip shade. Put it in the center like that. And if you really want the blend to be seamless, use a Q-tip. Powder products. I'm going to use an Ioni blush. Grab a brush about this shape. Tap off excess. So for this step, you're basically just tracing over what you had already done in liquid. Helps it last longer. I'm going to do the same thing for bronzer. Take a smaller brush for your nose. Add highlight to the high points of your face. Set. Done. Natural lighting, no beauty filter. Natural lighting with beauty filter. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!